Chad Prather Show. I'm talking. Not sure if you could see me. Let's get me over to the full screen. There we go. Thanks for hanging out with me in the cave. We got a few things we want to get into. Please do me the honor of clicking like and commenting in the chat. Click like right under the video, the little thumbs up. Pow. And if you're watching this over on the Dear America program, or the Dear America channel, I should say, make sure that you are subscribed to Chad Prather on Rumble, the Chad Prather. You just do a little search, Chad Prather, or go to rumble.com/Chad Prather and check it out. Subscribe. I need you to subscribe. Share this with all of your friends. We had like 110,000 views on yesterday's episode talking about Dan Bongino. It all has to do with whether or not we're in the editor's picks and get recommended. And you guys clicking like and sharing this and making sure that the overlords out there know that you are wanting to see this kind of type of programming helps them put it in the editor's picks. It's one of those Rumble things. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's a constant fight. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got corruption. We got IRS leaks. We got more stuff from Doge. We got near misses with plane crashes and everything else. But before we talk about any of that stuff, I want to take just a moment to address the proverbial elephant in the room. I want to talk about politicians. Oh, what a fun topic. Politicians, once revered as the torchbearers of our democracy, they have just seemingly morphed into something altogether different these days. They now stand as a testament to broken promises, shattered trust. Nobody looks forward to discussing politicians. We've got these individuals who once campaigned on the very ideals of integrity and transparency and even service, but they've become masters of deceit. They're liars. Skilled contortionists, if you will, twisting their words to fit the narrative that serves them best rather than the people they were elected to represent, me and you. We've seen them pander to special interests and lobbies and sell out their constituents and prioritize their own agendas over the needs of the very citizens who supposedly put them in power. And listen, these days, it's not just the occasional lapse in judgment, it's a systemic betrayal, systematic betrayal. They've turned our political system into a stage for their self-interest, where the only goal is to climb higher on the ladder of power, no matter the cost. There's no consequences. There's no accountability. I'm looking at you, Dan Crenshaw. Promises of change have turned into empty platitudes, and the very idea of accountability has been tossed aside like yesterday's trash. We're left with a grim reality. Our trust has been eroded, replaced by skepticism, disdain, cynicism. We simply don't believe them anymore. We don't believe them. And we already didn't believe them very much to begin with. And we watch as they smile for the cameras and do their little politician wave, delivering hollow speeches that barely mask their contempt for the electorate. Now, they've become disconnected, living in a bubble of privilege while the rest of us grapple with the consequences of their decisions. So let's be clear. We, the people, demand better of the elected class. We're tired of the theatrics. We're tired of the charades. We're tired of the play acting. We want politicians who stand by their word, who prioritize the common good over the personal gain. Release the Epstein list. Release unredacted. Prioritize these things, folks. Stop hiding. Stop protecting your fellow elites. It's time to hold these people accountable for their actions, to remind them that they serve us, not the other way around. So the age of blind trust is over. It's time for a reckoning. And tomorrow night, I'll be in Washington, D.C., having dinner with a senator and two Congress people, one man, one woman. I will fill you in after the fact, but I have questions that I want to ask them. And trust me when I tell you, I will ask them. Point blank, at dinner, I want to find out. I have questions. I demand answers. You demand answers. You deserve answers. We're living in a crazy world. Listen, we can come up here and play and have jokes and all this kind of stuff, but we're at a point now where the time is limited. We've been given a reprieve. We've been given a little bit of a recess so that we can go after the things that truly amount to law, order, truth, justice, and we want to see certain things exposed, and we want to see people held accountable, and we need to see some consequences. So let's see them. Let's see them. I don't want to play politics as usual. Before we go any further, let me remind you about my friends over at the Wellness Company. Got the medical emergency kit. You can get it at twc.health/Chad. And if you use promo code Chad, you can get You can get the 10% off, plus you get the free shipping. David almost played that video. I see you, David. You almost played that video. I'm encouraging everybody to go get the Contagion Kit. The Contagion Kit is going to help you. You know why? Because they weaponized the mRNA vaccine. Now we know they're even putting vaccines in the chickens that you're going to be eating that crap. It's real. It's real. I want you to go to twc.health/Chad, get that Contagion Kit. People say, man, that's expensive stuff. For what? Listen, it's a one-stop shop. Go get all the stuff you need. The ivermectin, the hydrochlorothiazide, so many different things. They've even got a radiation kit. God forbid you ever need that, but it's good to have on hand. I can't tell you how many times my medical emergency kit has been used and replenished. And you say, well, it's about Big Pharma. No, this is actually the opposite of Big Pharma. I want you guys to go get this. Have it on hand so you can be self-reliant. People say, well, I don't like certain things. Hey, listen, you don't have to have those certain things. Get the stuff you need. Go to twc.health/Chad. Use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Get the 10% off as well as free shipping. Well, Royce isn't here. Royce isn't here. It's a sad day. Maybe one day we can tell you where Royce is. He's out saving the world, too, apparently, doing all kind of crazy, important stuff. But you know who is here? The guy that entertains you with all of his deep, insightful, complex thoughts. His name is PFS. That's right, Party Foul Steve. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
How you feeling, PFS?
I had an entire monologue written today, but it sounds so much like yours.
Did you just freeze up? Hang on a second. Hang on. You froze up. Say that all over again. You had a what?
I said I had a monologue ready. I had a monologue ready for today, but it sounds so much like yours, I'm not even going to say it or read it. It's almost identical.
You were freezing up there on me, Daddy. You were being all still, and I don't know. We got too many. And there's Party Foul Steve. We got ding dongs going on. We got everything happening.
Am I there now?
Yeah. I don't know.
Studio B is on the low budget end over here.
we put you in a spare bedroom. Royce was here this morning, but he had to beg out. And tomorrow's episode of the Chad Prather Show, we'll do a little Chad's Church, something of that nature. It's going to be pre-recorded because I have to go to Washington, D.C. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to work for the Pentagon or anything else like that. I just have some meetings that I have to do, and I will fill you in on those meetings as soon as I can. Just know that we are in a privileged situation to be able to have some serious conversations about things that matter to the Chad Prather Show and the Dear America family. So I'm excited to be able to. I don't like going to D.C. Trust me, I don't like going to D.C., but I will just for you. Wave your hand, Party Foul Steve. Can we see?
Am I there?
You're there.
Unfrozen.
You're there. Okay. No, you're not frozen. You're okay. The IRS has leaked everything. I want you guys to see this. This is troubling. I mean, every day we got something else that's just a little more trouble. The Biden IRS. This is a bombshell, Libs of TikTok reports. Biden IRS leaked tax info of over 405,000 Americans, including President Trump. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. That's who they were going after. They initially claimed it was just 70,000 were affected, but now disclosures prove that was 6 times. You know, Party Val, when you read something like that, does that concern you at all? Like, does that worry you?
Absolutely, but it kind of goes back to being their own fault. Because didn't they add like 85,000 new IRS agents?
Yeah, I think the number was like 87,000, something like that.
87,000 more times of a chance of a leak happening.
Or they should have been monitored. It should have been 87,000, pairs of eyeballs on the situation where they actually could have, kept something like that from happening.
Well, how many of those? How quickly did they hire those, and were they vetted? I mean, how did they vet those?
Honestly, I don't know that they were ever fully brought on as employees. I think a lot of them are probationary. Watch this. I'm gonna turn the light on behind Steve and give him a little blue tint. Let's see if it came on. There it is. Boo! Look at that. I can control Studio B from in here. So I don't know, but I will tell you. This is why I keep saying over and over again that until we start seeing consequences and accountability and people in handcuffs, I mean, actual consequences, they're going to keep doing it again. They're going to keep doing this stuff again. And that's the thing that frustrates me. So Kristi Noem, Kristi Noem came out last week and she said that she was going to go after and find the people who were leaking the ICE raids. She says that she has found the people responsible for the ICE folks and the ones that are leaking the ICE details. And she says there's going to be consequences. Well, play the clip here and let's see what those consequences are. All right.
I have found some leakers. We are continuing to get more. They will be fired. There will be consequences. And remember, when they leak information to the press in order to blow an op, they are putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. They are risking their lives and putting their families in the position where they'll have to live without those individuals any further. So you bet we have used every tactic that we have. If you remember, we talked just last week about how I'm using polygraphs to go after and to really interview these folks. Because we are a national security agency, I have that tool I can use. Also looking at their emails, looking at their communications. And it's amazing how these bureaucrats who have an agenda to stop the work that we're doing to bring safety to America, how they will sell each other down the river if it's just to protect themselves. So don't worry, I am doing everything to find these leakers and to get rid of them so that we can do our work and our law enforcement officers and agents can do it safely.
I'm still listening for the consequences, Kristi.
They're treason.
I'm still waiting to hear the consequences. Firing them isn't what we're talking about. I don't want them just to be fired. I don't want you just to get rid of them. They're not just a bad employee. They are a nefarious cancer that has poisoned the whole thing.
It's a detriment to our national security. I think there's got to be some type of treasonous charges.
If you have an invasion, and you, let's say, you got people, let's say you're at war and you get invaded and you start tipping off the enemy to when the attack is going to come, sort of like when Mark Milley was calling China and saying, if we're ever going to attack you guys in any form or fashion, we'll tip you off. We'll let you know. I'll give you a call and let you know it's coming so you'll be prepared. That is traitorous. That is seditious. So I need them to do a lot more than just to fire them. They need to be charged with the crime.
And I think they will. I'm sure there's some things going on that we haven't seen yet.
I want some transparency. When the director of Homeland Security comes on here and says, well, we're just going to fire them, you're literally putting ICE agents in danger when they go in and do these raids. These are life-threatening situations. They need all the full force security and secrecy that they can have. So the fact that you have people that are leaking these raids to invaders, literal invaders, these illegals that are here, and these deportation tactics, and you're just going to tip them off, that's dangerous. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, did you see the movie Sicario where they go in there, they find the bodies in the wall, the cartels, and they find the bodies in the wall, and then they go out there and they're looking in the garage or whatever, and they got the whole thing rigged with explosives, waiting on law enforcement to get there. You don't know when something like that could happen. So,
and if this was a foreign adversary and this was going on, it's something that they didn't agree with, are they going to leak that information as well?
Right. Well,
I mean, there goes
we've had 165 different nations represented at border encounters each year for the last 2 or 3 years. I'd say this is a pretty foreign invasion. So, I don't know that maybe the federal government and maybe we don't have the same definition of transparency, right? Maybe we don't have the same definition. And I understand I don't need to be privy to national secrets. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm not naive. But when we're talking about exposing corruption in the people that we supposedly had a hand in putting in office, or a bureaucracy that those delegated authorities placed in a place of authority, whether with our knowledge or without, so that now they're operating without some form of accountability. I'm going to need some bigger consequences. That's what I need.
Yeah, and we have to trust that they will. And right now, I think it's still. Yeah, we have to trust that they will until they don't. And she is pretty to look at too.
Well, Christy, God bless her. She's not. She's a sweetheart. I love her. She's been on my show. She's been on this show before a couple of times, and she's a down to earth gal. I mean, she's South Dakota strong, and I do love South Dakota. I like Christy, but and again, they are having to still deal with some remnants and residue of the last administration. Who can you trust? Who can you talk to? You know, the CIA. We know the CIA is corrupt, and yeah, we can talk about the FBI going over to Cash and Dan Bongino. But we're still not sure what the CIA is up to, and I want to talk to you more about that later on in the show. Before we do, Nick Sorter. We like to put a lot of Nick Sorter stories on here. He's a pretty great journalist over on X. We got a video coming. I don't think it's been released. I hope this is released because everybody who knows me knows that I dislike Representative Eric Swalwell. I dislike him more than any other person in Congress. I would love to run into him while I'm in D.C. in the next couple of days just to say hi. Most punchable face out there. Sir farts a lot. Captain Fang Fang, the dude that was literally having an affair with a Chinese spy. Apparently, he got a little inebriated at a dinner last night. Nick Sorter said, "Hi, Representative Swalwell. Is this the video? No. That's Fang Fang. Go back to the one prior to that one." He says, let me read it. It says, "I know you have me blocked, but I wanted to thank you for the quote lovely chat that we had at dinner. You'll see a video recap tomorrow here on X. Regards, the man whose table you invaded while you were inebriated at dinner. P.S. Tell Fang Fang I said
I really want to dig deep into this hate that you have for him.
He and I have exchanged words in the past. I really want to see the video. I see PJ Pickett in the chat says Nick sat near the guy for 90 minutes and heard everything. Oh, please God, let me have that information. I need it. I want to hear it.
This video recap, that's a video of him probably telling about the dinner, not exactly him on camera, right?
I don't know.
Because you'll see a video recap, which to me tells he's just going to tell about the events.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Right.
He might have his own little hot mic moments of some little captured video. We'll see. So Nick hadn't put anything else out yet that I know of in regards to this, but I am curious to hear it. I see people blowing up the chat with who they dislike the most, whether it's Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar shouldn't even been in the country. I know AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib. You can name off any member of the squad, but Swalwell, just that face you want to. And how he can be so smug and condescending with everybody when he knows he did the yum yum with the fang fang. He did the ding ding with the dong dong. Bing bang 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 dong ding dong bang bang. He had the Peking duck that rhymes with duck. I want you guys to text Chad. Allegedly. Oh, Swalwell.
Yeah.
The question is more hate for Swalwell than Schiff. It's just a different type. It's just a different type of hate. I really do. Just let it fester inside of me. There we go. Da. Fake Texans. I hate them the most. Get out of my state. I was conceived here. Come move me. Aye, what's up? All right, I want you guys to text Chad over to 989898. Our friends at Birch Gold, they will help you secure your retirement and your financial future with gold. You need to make sure that your IRA, your 401k, all of your retirement is backed with gold. If not all of it, at least a portion of it. It's pretty good to diversify, and they will help you do that. They'll send you a free, no obligation information kit. when you text CHAD, spell it Chad, to 989898. Get that information from them. Talk to them on the phone. They're very informative. I always encourage people to read their articles over on X. They're great folks, man, and they're good. They know exactly what they're talking about. They won't lead you astray. So go claim your free IRA gold kit. Text Chad to 989898. You can always visit them at birchgold.com and see more. But just cut out the middleman, which is all of us. Just cut it out and go to Chad 989898. And let's do it. All right. No, Siri, I don't want to talk to you. Did you guys see the Wisconsin budget recommendation? They've been talking about that. Make sure that you're hitting like out there. Make sure that you're in the chat. Float those American flags out there. Oh, Wisconsin. Pop up this graphic right here. This is pretty telling. This is what they're trying to do there. They want to make sure, again, if you can control language, you can control culture. And this is what they're trying to do. So this is their budget, 25 to 20. See if I can pull that thing up on my own little notes here. Oh, God, I hate technology.
Oh, yeah. Words previously used, wife or husband, changed to spouse.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a big one. You know, we kind of use spouse, but, we've used that for years.
Unless I want to use it. You know what I'm saying? Unless I want to use the word wife or husband.
This is the best one. Word previously used, mother, changed to inseminated person.
Yeah, I was talking to my mother on the phone the other day. She brought this one up to me, and she kept saying inseminated woman. I said, they don't know what a woman is. Inseminated person. Inseminated
so that means dudes
person.
could be inseminated. It's just inseminated in the wrong spot.
Well, either way, there's an exchange of DNA, which goes back to what I was saying earlier. I was conceived in the state of Texas. I believe in life at conception. I am a pro-life guy. I am seminally a Texan. I have Texas DNA, baby. And there you go. So word previously used, paternity, they want to change it to patronage. Word previously used for father is natural parent. There's a lot of jokes I could say right now. Words used man, woman, changed to person. So they're trying to personipulate, not manipulate. They're trying to personipulate the words for the, my dad is a dad. As a dad, I'm a dad. I'm not a natural parent.
This is going to offend some furries out there that do not identify as persons. They're going to say, where are the furries at? So they're not persons.
Yeah, or the binary people, or the whatever they may be. The people that identify as a cat. I don't know. And it gets worse. Oh, go over to Maryland. Maryland has this thing going on where Maryland is actually, they got the condom bill. Democrats in Maryland are pushing a bill that would put condoms in vending machines in elementary schools. I mean, they're specifically even talking about preschoolers having access to condoms.
Is this for the child molesters? I mean, what is it? What is going on? I'll bleep myself because I'm about to drop F-bombs. But
no, you can't. No, you gotta.
Not gonna do it.
You gotta censor yourself.
That doesn't. There's no common sense in that whatsoever. None.
Well, if you're woke, when you have the woke mind virus and your TDS is out of control, and you live in a postmodern society where everything is about feelings and emotions, and you're, all about my opinions and the things that I mean, listen, there's some things. I mean, do you just gonna make everything in the world accessible to preschoolers?
Let me back this up. What toddler in preschool is going to be using a vending machine to start with? Okay, surely it's not for them. Maybe it's for the people that work there.
Well, they're not enabling maps. And be careful the words you use here for YouTube's sake. They're not trying to enable maps here. I mean, one would think that that's not what they're trying to do, but at this stage in the game, I wouldn't put it past this bunch of pedo perverts. It's like, yeah. So I just tell you this. I mean, we went from sending $50 million in condoms to Madagascar and Gaza, or Mozambique, wherever it was, and now we're putting them in vending machines in Maryland. There's even a campaign going on right now in the state of Virginia that says, "Don't Maryland my Virginia." This is how insane this is. People aren't like this, man. You got to tell me, the people that live in in average suburbs where Chevy Chase, Maryland, they're not thinking about putting condoms in a 3-year-old's lunchbox. Play this clip, though. Let's see if we can find out a little bit more. Let's see what she's got to say.
Today's update is brought to you by the Maryland Democrats that are trying to put condoms into the vending machines of kindergartners. Yes, that's correct. So obviously House Bill 380 is gaining attention. This bill would allow vending machines to sell condoms in kindergarten through 12th grade. Now you might say, oh, well, they said that they're really only looking to do it in the high schools. Like that's what they told us. They're really only going to do this in the high school. Well, okay. Brian Miller, who's a Republican, introduced an amendment, and the amendment would exclude elementary and middle schools from being able to sell the condoms. Well, they voted that down. All right. So this begs the question, why are you thinking about a kindergartner being intimate? And do you need to be put on a watch list for Pam and Cash to take a little look? Today's update is brought to you by the
Maryland. Deal is just absolutely disgusting, Steve.
I mean, they don't even have wallets. Where are they going to carry their condom?
How are they going to get them out of the vending machine? You just go over there and just like,
I don't know,
like a free bubblegum deal? I mean, I
don't mean to be crass or crude, but their Apple Pay.
I mean, make these kids take 3/4 to the racetrack grocery, to the gas station bathroom. I don't want to be bad or facetious on this whole thing, but this is disgusting. So this is the thing that I got in trouble with. People came at me a few years ago because after we started to pull down CRT and expose CRT, I said that what's going to happen, which was critical race theory, which is a Marxist philosophy. It's been around for forever. You had critical theory. They turned it into critical race theory because if you throw the word race in there, then nobody can argue back against it. And then when we started to pull that down, particularly in the state of Texas, and expose it for the Marxist curriculum that it was, then they started talking about social emotional learning, SEL. I said SEL is just another repackaged purpose of this whole thing. And everybody came at me and said, no, you got to understand, we do SEL. And so what it is, it turns into toxic empathy. And they play on people's emotions. They say, well, these children, they don't have any parents at home, or maybe they're latchkey kids, or they're just not really getting adult supervision or guidance. And so it's up to the schools to make sure that they get fed for breakfast and fed for lunch, and then they get taken care of. They get the psychological counseling, and they get, the emotional well-being therapy and all of these different things that are in there. So social emotional learning, SEL, I called it out for what it was, and everybody came at me and said, no, if kids don't get some care in school, then they're not going to get care anywhere because they're not getting it at home. I pushed back and I said, no, it's much more nefarious than that. There are some issues with that. First and foremost, it's not the school's responsibility to be the parent of the child. I don't care what the child's going through at home. There may be some bad situations. But as soon as the school system sets itself up to be a surrogate for a child, you got a slippery slope that's going to lead to destruction. It's not going to be a good thing. So get the government, get the public school systems, particularly the public school systems, because they're Marxist organizations. And again, I'm not complaining about you teachers that have good intentions, but you're being victimized as well because the curriculum's being written and handed down to you. That's why the whole system needs to be burned to the ground. People want to talk to me about school choice and vouchers and private schools and, co-ops and homeschooling. We homeschool. But listen, the public school system, if you want to call it school, it's not an education. It's a brainwashing technique. When you have kids learning through rote memory to the point where they go get standardized tests and they're never truly taught to think critically and use common sense, and we got stuff like Common Core math and SEL and all the other garbage that's out there where we're being taught that, okay, if you got 3/4 and I take one away, who's the biggest racist? That's not an education. And so now they're wanting to do this kind of stuff where they say, well, we're trying to protect kids from God knows what by putting a condom in there. Now, I don't know how many 3-year-olds know how to use a condom, much less should they have access to them. I mean, to take the facetiousness even further, are we going to put firearms in there? I mean, let's say there's an invasion at the school. Let's say there's a mass casualty event. Should we arm them with firearms too in the vending machine? Maybe we should put 9mm in the vending machine. So at what stage in the game do you stop the ridiculousness of these arguments? And I'm going to take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath, because what has happened is our parents quit parenting and they try to let the school do it all. And you see what you get when you let the school do it all.
You can't.
We have lazy parents, lazy generation of parents.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm a homeschooler too. We homeschooled 3 out of 4 of ours.
Yeah, it's just you can't let the government train your kids. You can't let them have control over your kids. It's an age-old tactic. And the left plays the long game. They're not looking for immediate results. So, I've told you this, the long walk, man, they play the long game. They plan stuff out forever. You need to Google and you need to find the hard-to-find videos about the Rutherford School, about how they brought the Marxism into the United States and began to teach it at Columbia University, and how it became a school of thought, the Dewey Man system of education that was nothing but socialism. And they took a pattern after the Bolsheviks in Russia in 1917, who took the children out of the school so they could put them in special schools and make them into communists. They didn't trust the parents to raise them right. That's what they're doing. They've lied to the American family. People have heard me say this till they're sick of hearing me say this. They lied to the American family to believe that you got to have both parents out there in the workforce. They did that so they can collect a larger amount of tax dollars off of you, keep funding this bureaucracy that's going to hide things from you, like the Epstein list and the Diddy list and all the other garbage that's out there. We're never going to find out who's doing what, and where the $17 million last year was spent in hush money, slush fund, in order to cover up sexual harassment cases for the Congress. But we got to make sure we pay those taxes. And then we end up with Doge, who's going to find all the waste that's out there, and we're going to go, oh my God, they're spending our taxpayer dollars. Well, if we'd have just held on to our values a long time ago and said, I'm going to raise my kids, I'm going to educate my kids, I'm going to keep the government out of their brains and out of their minds, and yes, we might have to live off of less. Maybe I can't afford the Audi. I might have to live to a place where, we live on and people are like, oh yeah, that's not the real world. No, it's not the real world anymore, because we've allowed the real world to get out of control.
Amen.
We've allowed the world to get out of control. You know who's to blame? It's like the cartoon, what was it, Pogo? He said, we've seen the enemy and he is us. We're the one who created this whole deal. And I'm not saying there's not good school districts out there. There are. There's still some places with values, with some good oversight, good people out there on the boards. I'm just saying, as a whole, it's been taken over. When you got small towns in Texas where activists are moving here from California, moving to small town Texas with the express purpose of getting there, buying a home, and then running for the school board for the purpose of overturning the ideas and the agendas that are there, so that they can turn it more lefty, progressive, and Marxist.
But look at the continued the growth of the private schools, the charter schools, and the homeschool. Like, I've never seen, probably in the last 5 years more so than, everybody I speak to. Oh no, we pulled them out of school and we put them over here, or we pulled them out of school and we're homeschooling.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the good things that came out of the pandemic, out of COVID. People had to pull them out of schools, and parents had, for the first opportunity, for the first time, many parents paid attention on the Zoom call what their kids were being taught, quote, taught. Yeah. And then you're going to hypersexualize children. I mean, from the Bratz dolls to the Barbie dolls to the movies they're exposed to the pornography that's on their phones. The crap on Instagram and TikTok. Our kids are being hypersexualized. We're letting the screens babysit our children so that we don't get bothered. They're being raised by Amazon.com and PlayStation 4, and we're not engaged. Love is spelled Time, and we're not doing that.
And we can't, the old-fashioned bullying that went on during school is nothing compared to the online bullying and stuff like that. Putting the kids, putting an iPhone in your kid's hand when they're, 8 years old is not the thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, Todd's corrected me. It's COVID. The COVID. The COVID. That's how it is. So, as a person who raised 4 children, technically 5, I had a stepson, still love him as a son. He's an adult now. And let me tell you, we did everything we could to put those kids first. People ask me all the time, Steve, you've heard me say this so many times. My kids turned out great. I don't know that my kids have ever had a rebellious day in their life. They've never actively had a rebellious day in their life. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm just saying they never went out and said, we're going to just pursue rebellion, because a lot of kids do that, even in their teenage years. Oh, they bickered and they fought and they had their little meltdowns and stuff like that. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, we taught them a value system. And the difference between teaching a kid right from wrong is, see, right from wrong, what's right for one may not be wrong for another, right? Or whatever. It might not be right for the other person. But when you have a value system, you learn to value the things that are right and wrong. So if you value human life, if you get pregnant, you don't think, oh, I'm going to choose abortion. I'm going to choose murder, because I've been taught that to value life. Now, the right decision is for me to, not two wrongs are going to make a right. I might have made a mistake in getting pregnant, but at least I'm going to do the right thing in having this baby. And that's just an example. But teach a value system. And I saw somebody comment in here. You're right, Christina. And I've caught a lot of flack over the years talking about participation trophies, giving a kid a ribbon, giving a kid a trophy or whatever. And now what we have is these overblown authoritarians in the school boards and in the governments and the teachers in some of these places who are saying, well, the parents aren't doing a good job, so we got to make sure that little Sammy and little Julie get patted on their bobo and they feel good about themselves because their parents didn't teach them how to do right from wrong. And so we're going to cover all our bases, including putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms, because we don't want anybody to feel left out or have their feelings hurt. And we're going to make sure that nobody ever scrapes their knee when they leave the house. They're dressed up like the Michelin man, because they got so many dadgum, knee pads, elbow pads, and everything else on. You don't see kids with broken arms anymore. No,
because everything's padded.
We used to all have casts on, dude. We used to all have casts, and so you don't see kids with a cast anymore. It's rare. Like it's amazing to me. We played Evel Knievel. We were out there trying to do all this stuff. But now they want to take all the risks away. And I know little Johnny needs to be protected and have a great life. But, man, let your kids be kids without this crap, without the over-sexualization, hypersexualization, the temptation, the exposure to things. Let them have a value system. And for the love of the Lord, please keep your kids as innocent as you can for as long as possible.
And I will say, even in our neighborhood, I'll look at kids outside. I still see kids outside playing when the weather's nice and they're riding their bikes and stuff. And I don't know where the parents are. I'm sure they're close, but it's nice to see because, we've lived all over the United States, and some of those places you go outside and there's no kids outside.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
They don't.
Never see
People
them.
don't. People don't know their neighbors. Kids don't know anybody. They don't play outside anymore. They're sitting there. They're communicating with the world with their little headphones on, playing, whatever, World of Warcraft, Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. They're exposed to all this crap. And I know I'm spending way too long on this, but I don't care. This is a soapbox issue for me, and I can preach this.
This is your show. You get to do what you want.
Well, it's true. My name is on the billboard. But I will say, because there's more things I do want to get to, but I will say, that whenever we have coddled our kids to death, and the perfect example is when we were in Grand Junction, Colorado, we walked outside of that diner and we were in a Me Too rally, and I saw those dudes dressed up like vaginas. I don't know what guy, like full body vaginas. A man, if you're a grown man and you're dressed up like a full body vagina walking down the street one step behind the woman in charge of your life, and you're in some subservient mode, and I know that you went to a Spirit Halloween and you said, do you have a costume that makes me look like an Arby's commercial? And you went out in public. That's why you bring back bullying, because we should have beat that attitude off of you in recess, dude. You went out and put a pink hat on your head and dressed up like a vagina in order to make your dom happy. Makes me sick, dude.
And we marched with them.
Man up. Man, we didn't march with them. We mocked them. We ridiculed them. We read their stupid posters about how persecuted they were. Where's the beef? Oh, man.
I digress.
Our friends over at Allied Oilfield want to sell you a truck. Check them out.
Yeah.
We got some truckers out here. We got some folks in the oil and gas industry. Our friends at Allied Oil. Allied Oilfield, they are They're pretty awesome engineers over there. They've put together. They are pioneers in their field. They've built trucks, pump trucks, hot oil trucks. Steve Partyfoul. Steve knows the vocabulary better than me, and they're a high ticket item. They want to be on the tip of your tongue whenever you start talking about oil field equipment. Those of you guys that are out there, you're in this industry. They want you to think of them and mention them. They are a custom service engineered provider. They will build to your specifications. You go out there and check and see. They will do what you need according to your needs. So check them out, AlliedOilfield.com. They're fans of the show, and I'm fans of them. They're based right there in the heart of, the heart of West Texas, Leveland, Texas. And these guys know exactly what they're doing. Give them a shout. Check them out at AlliedOilfield.com. Go look at all the stuff they got. Some of you got to be curious. You want to see some big rigs. You're curious about that. You want to educate your kids on some fun stuff. Get them online and show them the trucks over to AlliedOilfield.com and check that out. But give them a shout and fill out one of their surveys, and maybe they can help you out in your business as well. We're my oil and gas folk. We're my truckers out there, AlliedOilfield.com. This is fun. So we know Joy Reid left. She left MSNBC, and she cried about it after years and years of calling everybody else racist and hating on the white man, race baiting. Rachel Maddow took to her show, this was last night, and she decided to call out MSNBC. That's her employer. Yesterday on X, I actually posted an over-under on how long Rachel Maddow's got. I think they're already reducing her airtime.
Yeah, they changed the name of her program to Last Man Standing.
Look at what you did right there. Look at what you did right there. Rachel Maddow, she says she's had a job. She says she's been gainfully employed since she was 12 years old. I guess.
Get that CLC in the chat. That's what I like to
cry
see.
Libs cry. I want to see
libs cry.
CLC. Let's listen to old Rachel. Let's listen to Lurch play it.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12.
Working on the railroad.
And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Every coffee shop in America.
But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door.
You'll join her.
It is not my call, and I understand that. But that's what I think. Yeah. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
So they lost their show because her network's racist. That's what I heard.
What she said was, apparently, the folks over at MSNBC, the people that stroke the checks, they just don't have their priorities right. So let me tell you how you don't run a business. And don't worry, Rachel, you'll join her over on Substack soon enough. Now, I don't like this pandering to the whole deal about, they had two non-white people here that were now they're gone. Well, first of all, don't suck, all right? Let me tell you something. So if I tell you about Birch Gold or the Wellness Company, or Patriot Mobile, or Allied Oilfield, or Patriot Protect, or any of our valued sponsors. Here's the thing: it's just a weird thing called numbers. If they don't get any love from this show after they pay us to be on this show, and trust me when I tell you, ain't nobody around here getting rich. Not yet. This ain't Joe Rogan, all right? Whenever we got about 600 people watching the show right now.
There will be signs.
There will be signs. You won't see my white fuzzy butt anywhere around here. So here's the thing. There's a thing called numbers. If the numbers don't match up, guess what those sponsors do? They go, we love you, Chad. We do. We love you. Like, you're a good dude, man. You deliver the ads perfectly. And we're thankful for how you do it. But we're just not seeing an ROI. There's no return on investment. And so they say, we're going to take a little break. Maybe we'll be back one day. And I've had lots of sponsors over the last 10 years who have done that exact thing. Now, it doesn't matter what the color of my skin is. It doesn't matter if I'm wearing pants or not. It doesn't matter if I'm wearing a dirty cowboy hat. It doesn't matter if I say things off color a little bit. At the end of the day, they want to know, did I make them any money? Was there viewership? Was there response? Was there activity? That's why these people like Rachel Maddow punch through the smoke in order to try to remain relevant. And we show her clips because we love to point out the stupidity of it all. So again, Joy Reid got canceled because Joy Reid doesn't have a viewership. And racism, when it is peddled every day with vitriol and people are tired of being called names constantly, they don't watch it. And therefore, the numbers aren't there. So it doesn't matter what color Joy Reid is, because you know what? They'll gladly accept her over on Substack, where she now has to foot the bill. As an independent podcaster, you know who foots the bill around here? Me. I'm the guy. I was once on The Blaze. The Blaze used to give me some money just for existing. Not anymore. I'm independent. So, Joy, you have equal opportunity for success. You get to now invest in yourself. You're used to making $3 million a year. Now you're making nothing. I hope you squirreled away some of that folding money so you can now go out there and support yourself on Substack and X. All right? All right. Now, speaking of racist, Party Foul Steve, did you try the racist experiment on your phone? This was happening.
Dude, all my emojis, every one of my emojis are black. The little thumbs up and stuff like that.
But this is not emojis.
Proves I'm not racist.
Alex Jones did this. Go ahead and play it, David. This was really happening.
Racist.
It says Trump when she says racist.
Racist.
It spells out Trump before it changes to racist.
Racist. Racist.
Spells out Trump.
You just duplicated this on 3 phones.
All right, let me tell you. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to believe about this racist Donald Trump, but that's happening. And I saw it. I saw it was Alex Jones, and so I tried it myself, and guess what? It works.
Mine doesn't.
It works. Did you say racist?
Yeah, I tried it. It said something else before, but I didn't have my glasses. But
there were several people in the group chat, a family group chat. They were all screaming racist at their phone, and half of them it was saying Trump whenever they did it.
Mine says Ronald.
This has now. Well, you got a weird East Texas accent. We have now gotten news that Fox News has confirmed this, and Apple has actually come out and confirmed that this was happening. Wow, man.
Somebody said it's fake news about the iPhone.
It's not fake news. I have numerous videos that we screen recorded on my phone where we actually watched it happen in real time.
Apple don't speak Texan.
There it is. Apple iPhone's voice-to-text feature periodically shows Trump when user says racist. I have numerous videos from numerous people who sent them to me on my phone where that was, and I'm not going to put it up here because it was part of, they were doing it in a conversation with somebody else. And, they were just using the talk-to-text feature. And it's not my place to put their conversations up there about business or whatever else. And because I had several people, like family members, I told them in the group checks, I said, I've now called everybody I know racist and sent it to them. And half of them were like, yeah, so it was happening. That ain't fake news. It was happening. When I first saw it, I was skeptical. And then we tried it and it worked. It worked. It's the iPhone update 18.3.1, I think.
Oh, I may not have that update.
You might not be
like
that
an iPhone
updated.
7 or something.
We almost had another plane crash in Chicago. 2 planes almost collided. Play that clip right there. Holy crikeys. Here's a big plane, and then you got a small, looks like a little Lear coming across. Obviously, there's some miscommunication. The big plane looks like a 737, pops back up into the air. The smaller jet crosses right in front of it.
And that's called a near
Los
miss.
Angeles. There's Chicago. There's a lot going on. Yesterday, we had a Delta Airlines flight that had to divert back to where was it? Because the thing filled with smoke. There were 2 planes, I think, yesterday that had to divert because the cabin, the fuselage, filled with smoke.
But as far as the near miss there, or the whatever you want to call that, that happens every day.
Don't you say that.
It does. We're just getting all the reports now because of the stuff that's been going on. But
well, I can tell you, I fly 200 to 250,000 miles a year. I've only had one instance where we landed and immediately had to take off again. Like touched and just touch and go. I've only had that one time. This was Atlanta. Yeah, thank you, Atlanta. Delta had to go turn around and go back to Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. Filled with smoke.
Is that like burning smoke, or is that like
No, it's not condensation from the air conditioner.
Because we've been in planes when the condensation was almost
that's condensation. Mexican Tony said, I said racist on my iPhone and it's spelled Y-O-U. We all know, Tony. We all know. Speaking of racist, Congresswoman Jayapal, she had her double standard rant here, and this was my quote earlier in the day. I posted on X at Watch Chat. I said, Dems in 1850, why won't Republicans let us have slaves? Dems in 2025, why won't Republicans let us have illegals? Play the clip of what she said.
We can't let them continue their lies and their distractions. We can't let them deport the millions of families across this country who have been doing the work that keeps our economy going every day. We can't let them scapegoat and criminalize immigrants who contribute, who are our neighbors, our friends, our churchgoers, our community around us that we deeply love.
Yeah.
Immigrants are us. Immigrants are us, and we all deserve respect and dignity.
That's a square
If you
jaw.
look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it.
Who picked
If you look at your homes, think about who built them. If you
Okay.
look at your vulnerable elders and your kids, think about who's taking care of them.
I often wonder who picked my ribeye steak. It's like, I don't eat anything that needs to be picked.
Look at that cotton shirt you're wearing. Who picked it?
I guarantee you somebody in Malaysia.
Oh, my gosh, dude. I can't with these people. That's racist. I'm sure that the captions on this later on will spell out Trump. But that's a double standard. That's a double standard, Jayapal. Let me tell you this. Okay, this is what we want to get to real quick. We got to go. CNN, let's go to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk said this. We know she's racist. We know. CNN, this is what's scary. Okay, we talked about leaks earlier and consequences. So you guys remember the Russian collusion. It was a big hoax. They spent $35 million, spent 2 years of our times accusing all of us to be Russian assets. CNN now says that top leadership at the CIA, that's the 7th floor, is worried about anti-Trump personnel may be motivated to sell out America to foreign powers. So in other words, people who created the Russia hoax might now sell America's secrets to Russia. Then CNN and MSNBC and all the other talking heads, you know who they're going to blame? They're going to blame Trump. So the 7th floor, home to the top of leadership of CIA, some of the offices are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts may be offered to staff, risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be selling information to, let's say, Russia.
And if they do and they get caught, they're treasonous,
should
and
be,
then you can...
But if they do,
squad?
there should be consequences. Firing squad.
Firing squad.
There was a dude in Alabama that just chose the firing squad. Was it Alabama? He said that's the way he wants to go out. But CNN, here's what they had to say on this deal. Excuse me. They said on the 7th floor, they said they're quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to foreign intelligence services. So again, if they can do this, and this might be the reason, this might be one of the reasons why we're not seeing some of this stuff revealed. Do I believe that? No, but it could be. It could be. So CNN is reporting insider threats at the CIA. We've talked about the FBI. We've talked about the DOJ. We've talked about Homeland Security. We've talked about ICE. But we haven't said a lot about what's happening at the CIA. CIA has the secrets.
And they're leaking it to CNN.
Well, it could be. I mean, that's what we're seeing here. So Michael Schellenberger says that FBI whistleblower confirmed to me that a source inside FBI said FBI employees were destroying evidence on the servers, and he informed Kash Patel. So he says, I hope Pam Bondi and so on are preventing this. We urgently need disclosure. So, yeah, there's a war. We see just that part at the bottom of Anna Paulina Luna. There's a massive war happening in the intelligence agencies right now. This is scary stuff, folks. This is scary stuff, and we gotta nip it. Gotta nip it in the bud. Scary stuff. I'm telling you, man. Who do you trust anymore? Nobody.
None of those letters.
No, none of the alphabet agencies. We can't trust in any of them. So, yeah, it's a bad deal. Bad deal. All right, Party Foul, we're going to jump off here. We're right up here at the hour. I appreciate you guys jumping on there. Click like, click share. Make sure that you guys are getting the word out that the Chad Prather Show is still a thing. Pete Hegseth, he's headed down to Gitmo today. I wonder if Graham Allen's with him. I don't know. Haven't heard. But he's headed down to Gitmo. Got to make sure that the jail cells are secure for the Adam Schiffs of the world. We'll see what happens there. But he went down there to inspect Gitmo.
That's what I like. I like to see these guys out in the front. I like to see these guys leading from the front. I like to see them in doing things. We went 4 years. We didn't know what anybody was doing. You never saw them doing anything.
They weren't doing anything. They were chest feeding their babies on paternity leave.
We got to keep JD Vance out in front, and because he's next in line.
Yeah, so or we should say they were on patronage leaves, not paternity leaves. They were on patronage leaves, or inseminated persons. Which we still don't know who got inseminated for Pete and Chasen Buttigieg's babies. They just bought those.
I was going to say that one guy inseminated that other guy in Congress floor. So,
that was my parting advice for Graham Allen. I said, I love you, buddy. Just stay out of, don't go to any Senate hearing chambers with any Senate staffers, dude.
That's what
they don't want to share those types of secrets. Okay. We don't want to see you on that version of Facebook Live. All right, let's see if we got any. See if we got any super chats. Pop them up there. Jody Hart. Hi, Chad and Party Foul. Party F. Please tell DC not to make cuts to Medicaid. How do I get a meeting with someone in DC to give ideas about health insurance? I want to see arrests. Chad, you are fantastic fun, and I'm learning a lot from you. The Bible, too. Well, thank you for that. You're not the folks that need to be getting Medicaid, you're not going to experience those cuts. That is not part of this budget. It is the waste. It is the fraud. It is the spending that shouldn't exist. It's the people who are ineligible, like illegals. That's the portions of Medicaid that are going to be cut. Now, I do agree with you, and I'm dealing with a couple of personal situations of people that I know, trying to get them in front of the right people. The health insurance issue is a nightmare. Now, I will tell you, my friend Brian Talley, when he needed to get an overhaul at the VA, let me tell you what he did. He went to Congress. He went up there and he went to the offices. He knocked on doors, and he handed out pamphlets until he got to the right person. He was committed and dedicated, and he's a disabled vet who was paralyzed for a couple of years. He went to Congress and was handing out these pamphlets until he got some reform done with the VA. It's not easy. Just getting in front of somebody is not the easy part. You got to really go after those people because it's hard to do. So I would say don't be afraid. Don't be afraid when it comes to the Medicaid thing or Medicare. Free Castle, $5. Thank you. Dear America Love. I like that DA Love. DA Love in the chat. DA Love. Give me that DA Love. You boys are funny in the chat. David Medina. For messing up the intro again. Producer David, there it is, $4.99. You guys, I kept calling him Unseen Eric yesterday because I was talking with a friend of mine, one of our sponsors named Eric, and I kept referring to David as Eric, and so I've publicly apologized numerous times. I will flagellate myself with whips and cords, and I will sit in sackcloth and ashes all day long. DML, parents are much better than a classroom teacher. Teach the values you have to your kids.
For sure.
I agree with you, and I'll say something extreme here. A present parent, is better than the absolute best teacher on the planet. I'm just telling you, you give your kids time. God gave you that gift of parents. Parents can speak to their children,
and this is
stronger
not
than anybody else can.
It's not an attack against teachers. My mom was a teacher for 30 some odd years.
My daughter's a teacher.
I still have friends of mine to this day that, my mom's long gone, but people come to me and they'll say, thank God I had your mom for a teacher because she gave me some guidance in life that, that I didn't get at home or I didn't get somewhere else.
I have people all the time who say, Chad, you know this, you know a lot about a lot of different things. And I don't know how much of that's true. I think I do, but I'm pretty broad in terms of my education. And it's because I had good teachers. I had good instructors. I had good college professors. If they weren't good, I got out of their class. I withdrew from their class and took it again. It was worth it to me. I just
got out if I was failing.
I did that at a statistics class at the University of Georgia. I can tell you. A 19 in that class was a 19 on the midterm was passing. That's not an education. When you got that big of a curve, that's not a true education. When a 19 is passing and a 58 was an A and above, no, that's not education. So I got out of that class. That's how stupid it was. And plus, the German professor couldn't hardly speak English, and so what was I going to do? All right, Alicia Victoria, 88. I love you so much, girl. Honestly, let the Dem continue not to get it. This is why they lost the election. Leave our kids alone. You're right.
Very true.
Just let them be stupid.
Very true statement.
Let them peddle their insanity. They like these 15 to 20% issues that nobody else supports. Jody Hart, again, I hate technology to bring back sex education taught by parents first. Many parents are too lazy and do not want to teach their kids about sex. That's sad. Fair point. They'll let Pornhub and whatever else teach your kids about sex, but dadgummit. I mean, they've let every Hollywood star to, whatever, Teen Vogue magazine teach them about it, but the parents won't do it. Lisa Victoria, once again, is that the same Maddie who had to retract her statement trying to say Donald Trump paid Elon Musk on live TV? Wouldn't you know it? Thanks, great episode. Not Woke Troubadours, my brother right here, close to home. Pickle Squirrel, I love you too, girl. Immigrants are us. Is that where I can get a serape and a taco platter? I don't know, Mexican Tony. Where can she get a taco platter? Lisa Victoria, 88. I was just informed at work we're implementing an ICE procedure. Apparently, we're not allowed to talk to them. Mind you, we distribute uniforms, equipment for police. Make it make sense. You can't do it.
You can talk to anyone you want to.
Yeah. Free Castle is less than TJ, producer, co-host. I came with fire. You guys got to check it out. I came with fire. That's a great show. It's a new deal we got going on the Dear America Media, and I was catching their show last night, and good stuff. I like it. You guys can waste a lot of time with the Dear America Media right now. I'm telling you, you got us in the morning, Dear America. You got me and Party Foul Steve in the afternoon. Once we get everything done, we got Unseen David. He'll be seen eventually. We're just working some things out right now, and we will have some. We'll go back to having some more guests and having a good time. We're sorting things out. I can't begin to tell you how big of a transition this has been for all of us with Graham going to the Pentagon. We're proud of him. We're thankful for him. But everybody took a pay cut and everybody increased their workload. I can tell you that. And trust me, I got to hear it from Hot Seat Todd all the time. Man, I'm broke as a joke. I'm gonna buy me an RV, go live in a tent. I can't even stand myself no more. I got fair to middling chitlins anymore. Can't even eat good pork intestines, pig intestines. And then, of course, we're twisting the arms of Mexican Tony. He needs his own show. Maggie Moo 32. Megan Duthu's got her show in the evening on the subject. Got the I Came With Fire. The King's Council guys, they're reorganizing and dealing with some things. We'll see what happens with them. And then who knows? All right, Party Foul Steve, you got anything? Don't forget, guys, subscribe to the channel. Click like. Tell us you love us. Doesn't take much.
I like how you ask if I have anything, and then he just talks right over me. But no, you can hit me everywhere, Party Foul Steve, on all the socials.
That's right, Party Foul Steve. Did you say something, Steve?
Nope, nothing. I'm just sitting over here in the other room. I can hear you over there, through here, everywhere.
Yeah. Todd's got a sugar mama. He'll be fine. So does Party Foul Steve.
Yep.
I got to get me one of those. All right, Party Foul Steve over on the social medias. I'm going to be at watchchad.com where all the fun stuff is. Got a few minutes before I got another live show. I'm headed over to D.C. tomorrow. Pray for me. I will be on the Dear America show tomorrow morning. We will pre-tape this episode. I hope you will catch it. And then also make sure that you head over to redpillchad.com and check out some of our new merch over there. In the meantime, know that I love you guys so much. I appreciate you more than words can ever tell you. Please share the episode. Go to where podcasts are offered, the audio places on Apple. Don't say racist, it'll spell Trump. But go to Apple Podcasts and listen to today's episode or play a little bit of it. And if you feel free to do what I encourage you to do, that is leave us a 5-star rating down there and a review for the show. Let's drive this sucker up in the charts. I love you guys. God bless you. We'll talk to you in the morning. Be good. Bye.